Hello, and a really big warm welcome to this presentation from the Urban Penguin. My name is Andrew Mallett, and in today's presentation we're going to look at Firewall D, but digging a little bit deeper. Rather than just look at our standard Firewall D rules, we're going to be able to use direct rules so we can reference the higher language of IP tables itself. We're going to see that we can allow access to our system from any machine in the world. But in doing so, of course, we're going to get certain scripted attacks. So we can limit the amount of connections we allow per minute or per hour, whatever we want to use. But we're going to make sure that we can allow the level of access we need whilst restricting those clients we definitely don't want on our system. Come on, are you up for the challenge? And look at this, a big warm welcome to the Pixel playground of my ROCCI 9.3 system. We're going to be able to see the operating system when we look at hostnamectl. And on this system, I've already got my quote of the day service up and running. That's connecting on TCP port 17. And we want to look at some of the limitations and how we can mitigate against those. If I connect through to one of my client systems, on this client system, I've got a message of the day or quote of the day client set up in a Python file. So with this, then we can go through and see our little fortune cookies. And we can see here's quite a good quote, isn't it? You don't have to know how a computer works, just how to work the computer. But if we go through and request too many of these cookies from too many devices, of course, then we're putting a load on our server. So here we can create a simple loop, looping around 100 times. We can go through and run then the Python script. It's a very simple script. The script just goes through and connects to port 17 to grab the quote of the day. And then we can see that we're getting many quotes coming back. But this is from just one system. If we were replicating this across many systems, we could understand the type of load that we were putting on the remote system. When I look at the uptime, we can see the load average after the last 1 minute is 32. This is one processor, so that's looking at 32%. Now, the first thing that we can do to try and protect against this, of course, is to install our firewall. Firewall D is available both on ROCCI Linux 9 as well as other distributions such as Ubuntu. But let's get the firewall installed and then look at what we can start doing. So with this, then we can go through and accept to install the firewall. This really is a firewall front end rather than being a firewall itself. But it then does allow me to easily manage the firewall. So we can go through then and enable the firewall service and make sure that it's started now. And if I go back to my SSH client, so back on my Ubuntu system where I have the Python client, if I try now and run the quote of the day Python script, we can see now that we don't have access to this. It's not allowed through my firewall, so of course then I can allow TCP port 17 through my firewall. So this is then really where Firewall D comes in. We can simply add a port 17 on TCP. That's now opened that up. So connecting back to my SSH client, I can then go through and we can see that I'm able to get my quote of the day again. So all of this is very good, but of course, it's not going to stop me going through and running it 100 times again. So we really need to limit the amount of connections. When I start listing my firewall rules, so firewall CMD, and then --list -all, we can see towards the bottom there are things called rich rules. Rich rules are a halfway house between the simplicity of Firewall D management and the complexity of the underlying firewall modules. Rich rules can go some way to achieving my restriction, but the restriction is a blanket restriction. So if I limited it to 3 connections within a 60-second period, then literally only 3 connections would be able to be made within 60 seconds. So it wouldn't really work. We want to be able to make our limit on a source by source address. And for this, then, we can go through and add in our direct rules. Now, to save typos, I've gone through and just pasted the command in, but we're adding in a rule. We're putting it as the first rule, so input 0 for TCP port 17. We're using the state module, looking for new TCP connections. We're using the recent module, so we can look at the amount of connections. We're also naming the connection, and we're basing it around our source address. So we want to record the source address as well. The beauty of recording the source address means that when I apply my limit, it can be applied individually to each source address rather than to the whole incoming connections as one lump. Now, the next rule that we put in actually does the counting. So it starts off pretty much the same, but becomes input 1, the next available rule. We're updating information that we've previously collected. And the limit we're putting is 3 connections in 60 seconds. So we can make 2, but as soon as we get to the 3rd connection, it's going to be disallowed. If we go back and try and list our firewall rules, we can see that we get rich rules, but we don't get the direct rules. To list our direct rules, which are being set direct within the firewall modules, we have to then go through and use -direct, -get. We can use tab completion here, but you can see then that we've got all -rules, or we could go through and get a rule by name, and we can see then the rules that we've got listed. The first rule then is really naming our connections, and then we're counting the connections, and we're allowing up to 2 connections every 60 seconds before it's blocked. So now trying on my Ubuntu One system, I can make my 2 connections, but trying to make the 3rd within a 60-second period, it's not going to be allowed. I could wait and try again in 60 seconds, and then I get my 2 attempts again before I hit the hit count of 3. If I exit out of this and just try from another client, we should be able to have our own allocation of 2 quotes that are allowed. So we can make our 2 quotes. Then we hit the hit count, so our 3rd inside of 60 seconds. Now, again, I can go through and wait and try again, but we can see then that we're able to restrict the limit on a per client basis. So they can make 2 connections per client every 60 seconds, and that's going to be allowed. But any more than that, it's blocked.
All that is left to say is thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, then you are probably sadder than I first thought. For more of this drivel, please subscribe, like and comment to @TheUrbanPenguin.